Why do Spanish speakers say, ¿Cuál es tu nombre? But they say, ¿Qué hora es? This tiny difference confuses almost every learner. Let's fix it once and for all.
You know, if you're an English speaker learning Spanish, I can almost guarantee you've bumped into this incredibly common roadblock. It's the epic battle between qué and cuál. In English, we have what and which, and it's honestly pretty straightforward. But in Spanish, oh man, it can feel like a total trick. Sometimes what is qué, but then out of nowhere, what translates to cuál. It's super confusing, but don't worry at all, we're gonna crack the code together today. In this explainer, we're going to completely demystify these two little words so you can start sounding like an absolute native speaker.
All right, Section 1, meaning, pronunciation, and vowels. This is all about building our foundation.
Okay, so the absolute most crucial point here is how we mentally picture these two words. I really want you to use this simple little memory aid. Whenever you think of qué, picture an infinite universe. I mean, it is incredibly broad. It represents endless possibilities, like you're asking for general information or a literal dictionary definition. It's the big, big picture. Now, on the flip side, when you think of cuál, I want you to picture a specific box. Cuál means you are actively looking into that specific box and selecting an item from a known family of options. So qué is the whole universe and cuál is picking from a specific box. Lock that visual right into your head. But hey, before we look at the grammar, we've got to talk about how we actually sound, right? Pronunciation is literally everything. Let's master these vowels together. For K, I want you to focus on a very crisp, short E sound. It's not K, like the letter K in English. No way, it's K. Just short and sharp. K. Okay, now for cuál, you're going to smoothly blend the U and the A together to make a cuál sound. Cuál. Go ahead, try it out loud wherever you are right now. Qué and cuál. Beautiful. Oh, and here is an absolute golden rule for your written Spanish. Whenever these words are used to ask a question, they absolutely must carry a written accent mark. If you write them without the accent, you're actually changing the grammar entirely, and we definitely don't want that. Moving on to Section 2, Rules for Verbs and Definitions, where we'll be tackling the tricky verb ser. So when you pair these words with the verb es, which just means is, the rules are actually really strict. If you ask ¿qué es?, you are strictly asking for a dictionary definition. For example, ¿qué es mezcal? Here, you're basically asking, what does the word mezcal mean? Please define it for me. But if you ask ¿cuál es?, you aren't asking for a definition at all. You're asking someone to make a specific selection. So, ¿cuál es su película favorita? Means, what is your favorite movie? Think about it. You don't want the dictionary definition of a movie, right? You want your friend to look into their specific mental box of favorite films and pick one out. So remember, definition gets K and selection gets cuál. Now, notice how this rule adapts to action verbs. If you pair get with a verb, you're looking for that broad, infinite universe answer, like ¿qué piensas?, which means what are you thinking? Or ¿qué haces?, what are you doing? I mean, the answers to those could literally be anything in the world. But take a look at how it changes. When you pair cuál with a verb, the context demands that you're choosing from a specific group. If I hold up two amazing-looking cakes and ask, ¿cuál deseas? Or ¿cuál quieres?, I'm asking, which one do you desire or which one do you want from this very specific group sitting right in front of us. All right, Section 3, selecting from a noun family. I love to call this the closet metaphor. Nouns are just the everyday objects all around us. Let's use dresses as our family here. Imagine we're sitting at a coffee shop chatting. I might ask the broad universe question, ¿qué vestido te gusta?, meaning, what type of dress do you like in general? But now, change the scene. Imagine we are literally standing inside your closet looking at 3 specific dresses, a red one, a blue one, and a green one. Now I'd ask, ¿cuál vestido quieres? Which dress do you want? See the difference? It's the infinite universe versus the specific closet. Next up, Section 4. 3 common beginner mistakes. Time to bring out the tutor's red pen. Okay, so these 3 errors pop up literally all the time for English speakers, and it's totally okay, but let's fix them right now. Mistake number 1, saying ¿cuál piensas? To mean what do you think? This is logically incorrect in Spanish. You can't select from a known box of thoughts in someone's head, right? Thoughts are an infinite universe, so you absolutely must ask ¿qué piensas? Mistake number 2 is super similar. ¿Cuál haces? Again, actions are infinite. If you want to know what someone is up to, you ask the broad question, ¿Qué haces? And finally, mistake number 3, which I hear constantly, ¿qué es tu número de teléfono? Remember our rule about ¿qué es? It asks for a dictionary definition. If you ask, ¿qué es tu número? You're literally asking the person to define the philosophical concept of a phone number. And yeah, that is definitely not what you want. You want them to select their specific digits out of all the numbers in the world. So you must always ask, ¿cuál es tu número de teléfono? Section 5. Daily phrases and professional contexts. Let's talk about speaking in the real world. Here are 2 incredibly common, highly useful phrases using que that you are going to hear native speakers use all the time. The first one is ¿qué crees? Now, literally, it translates to what do you believe? But honestly, it's used exactly like guess what happened in English. It's full of excitement, like ¿qué crees? I got the job. The second phrase is absolutely perfect for texting a friend or checking in on a coworker. ¿Qué estás haciendo? This just means what are you doing right now in this exact moment? Notice how we're using que here because the answer could be literally anything in the universe. Now, what happens when we switch over to professional or slightly more pointed scenarios? Well, we often shift over to cuál. For instance, if there's an issue at work, you might directly ask, ¿cuál es tu problema? You're asking them to identify the specific problem out of a box of potential problems. And here's one you're going to use constantly in an office environment. ¿Cuál es la fecha de hoy? Which means, what is today's date? Again, we use cuál because you are picking a specific day out of the 365 days of the calendar year. It's a specific selection, definitely not a dictionary definition of what a date is. And finally, Section 6, the ultimate master cheat sheet. This is your flowchart to success. Whenever you are speaking or writing, I want you to run through this super quick mental flowchart. Step 1, ask yourself, is this a question? If yes, immediately visualize those written accent marks on the E and the A. Step 2, are you asking for the definition or meaning of a word? If yes, your go-to is ¿qué es? Step 3, are you asking someone to choose from a specific family of items or asking for a specific fact like a phone number, a date, or a capital city? If yes, your absolute go-to is cuál. I promise you, following these 3 simple steps will remove so much of that second guessing from your mind. So here is your ultimate summary, the Master Cheat Sheet. I highly encourage you to hit pause and take a screenshot right now. Row 1, definitions require ¿qué es? Row 2, selections and specific facts require cuáles. Row 3, general actions where you're seeking a broad answer, use que plus the verb. And finally, row 4, specific choices from a known group, use cuál plus the verb or noun. Keep this image handy on your phone and just review it during your daily studies. It is a real game changer. Well, look at us. We've journeyed all the way from the infinite universe of que, right down into the specific closet of cuál. You now have the exact tools, the pronunciation, and the mental framework to use these words with total confidence. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought so you can go practice your newly mastered skills. ¿Cuál palabra vas a usar hoy? Which word will you use today? Get out there, be brave, make those mistakes, and just keep learning.
Now you'll never confuse que and cuál again. If this helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep leveling up your Spanish with me.